Hi, welcome to Sass with Jessica and Ashlyn.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about, Sass, which is a CSS preprocessor that lets you write more manageable and more efficient style sheets. And actually it stands for Syntactically Awesome Style Sheets. So
Great name.
in itself, kind of self-explanatory. Um, it allows you to do like a lot of different features, like variables, nesting, inheritance, and mix-ins, which are some of the things we're going to be talking about today in this video. And so basically what it does, it tries to avoid repetitive content, and it does this through these features, plus more, which you can learn about on your own, but we don't have time in this video, unfortunately. So first we're going to show you how to set up a Sass.
Yeah, let's get this on your computer.
Because what it does, it like HTML can't understand Sass, so you have to use either the command line or like a compiler, such as WebStorm, which is what we're going to be using today, that will automatically update and convert it into a CSS document that the HTML can read.
Yeah, cool. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So if you're on a Mac, it's already going to have Ruby installed on it. But if you're not, if you're on Windows, you can go to rubyinstaller.org and download it here. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that. It's pretty step by step. But once you have done that and you have it installed, first thing you're going to do is in your terminal, you're going to write sudo gem install, I didn't spell that right, install Sass. And it's going to ask for your password. And it's going to get this all loaded up on your computer. And so to check to see if you guys did get this done right, I'll show you once that's all loaded. You can type in /v, and that'll show that this is imported correctly, and we are good to go. So hopefully you guys pulled up your starter code that we have on GitHub, and basically, okay, so to make sure that your SCSS file is reading correctly, you're going to have a thing that pops up that says Add Watcher, and you're going to want to click that. And so basically that is why we are using WebStorm, because it has the watcher, so it makes like a main.css that you don't really have to look at, this little map over here, and then so it makes the SCSS work. But so yeah, we have basically our basic website here. Pretty boring, pretty lame, not too much going on. But we have all this CSS stuff, and we wanted to kind of shorthand that down. So one of the things that we can do is add variables. Jess, do you want to tell us about variables?
Oh, I would love to tell you about that. Bad transition. That's okay. So Sass provides variables as a way to remember a value that you want to use throughout your web page, such as like this color here, 9C40CC. It's a beautiful purple color, but it can be hard to remember. So we're going to put it in a variable that we can then substitute into that value. And so then if we go back and want to change the color, add another part with that color, we don't have to go searching through to find what that value is. We can just use this primary color variable. And variables are denoted with a $sign, and so that's what gives the Sass document, I guess, to the ability to recognize it. So we're just gonna replace that. I feel like we're doing like the ventriloquist thing where I'm talking and okay. And then we're gonna do the same thing for this font family here, because we see that that's listed a couple times, and we want to avoid that redundancy. Again, in case we need to repeat that. And so you can name the variables anything you want, just something that relates to what the variable value is, so that you can remember it, because it's all about making it easier for you. And then another thing that you can do is something called nesting.
Which we've already done here. So the nesting thing we've already done. But so traditionally for CSS stuff, you'd notice that this thing would be out here and say, hey, we want to edit those unordered lists in the nav. But with the with Sass, what you can do is you can do what we had earlier, where it's actually nested in there, and so you don't have to have these long lists of information. About is mix-ins. So mix-ins are kind of a way to shorthand also a lot of CSS stuff. So we made one for a border radius. So we said we looked at these buttons over here and we decided that we wanted to have them nice little round corners. So we created this because for a border radius you have to import all the different Internet Explorer stuff into here, and so we wanted to shorthand that and didn't want to write it a million times and be able to replace this variable radius. So what I can show you with our button is we can say @include border radius, and we can type in a different radius for each of these buttons.
So I noticed that background and padding is used in both, and that's the same. Is there something we can do about that?
Definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Look
but
at
first
that.
I'll show you
So
guys how
sassy.
the borders changed. So cool, we can do that, and we don't have to write all this code and repeat writing WebKit border radius blah blah blah. It's just right there. Super nifty. But yeah, I'll show you how to do that, Jess.
Thanks.
So let's make a function called .panel. So what we wanted to add into here is we were saying we wanted to add
the background.
We want to add a background color.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna make a function called button background, and we're gonna say we want it to be number.
Wait, copy and paste the background back. And then next one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, actually, sorry, I'm confused on what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna start over.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to just keep that out of there because we don't want to be repeating ourselves. And what we can do is we have this .panel function, and we can come down here and say @extend. So extending basically does what extending kind of sounds like. We're just extending whatever function, like whatever rules we put in the .panel and bringing them down into each of our buttons.
We're reusing that block of style, and so that's something that avoids repetition.
Yeah, cool. So you come over here. Look how cool that is. Awesome. So also another cool thing that we can do with Sass is we can create partials. So you guys how to do that. So we can come down here and say File, New. We're going to call this, you have to put the underscore in there so it knows that it's a Sass file. So we have our partial file here, and we want to edit this llama picture because we're thinking he's a little overwhelming, don't you think?
Malicious.
He's a little malicious. So we have in our HTML, we have this image class llama.image. So we can come over here and we can say llama underscore image, and we can start adding some CSS to that.
I swear there's 2 M's. Is there 2 M's in llama?
I don't think there's 2 M's in llama.
Okay, maybe not.
I don't know.
Okay.
1 or 2. We're not sure. But for this purpose, we don't really care.
So max height.
So we're going to set our max height to be, let's say, 200 pixels. That's a good llama height, I think. And we also want him to be on the other side of the page, so we're going to tell him to float to the right.
A floating llama.
Yeah. But so to make sure we included this into our main CSS file, we're just going to say @import, and we're just going to say partial. And you don't need to include any of that underscoring stuff or whatever. So we can come over here and look at our beautiful little web page we created.
He's floating.
He's floating.
Wow, if that's not a sassy web page, I don't know what is.
So cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that and are excited to start using Sass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and so a situation where this is not, well, this wouldn't be ideal would be if you're collaborating with a bunch of other people, maybe on a project, and you don't all know Sass or know SCSS or don't have access, haven't downloaded it. So
that can be a problem. You guys all have got to be on the same software. But other than that, it rocks. If you're doing this on your own, it's just going to make your web designing way simpler and way less confusing.
And manageable and organized and easier and fun.
And sassy.
And sassy. Stay sassy, San Diego.
Okay, bye.
Bye.